FNaF is certainly no stranger to glitches and exploits, but most aren't too useful.
What?
But in this video we'll be showing off 5 actually useful exploits you can use right now. To start off, did you know you can just disable the withered animatronics in FNaF 2? Certain animatronics can't move while you're watching them, specifically Mangle, Withered Bonnie, Chica and Freddy, and Paper Pal for your information. But you have to change cams eventually, because the music box is always winding down. If only you could be on 2 cams at once. Well, you can. If you click a cam and immediately flip it down, you can stall the animatronics on that camera and watch a different one. The monitor saves which camera you were last looking at, but only every 0.2 of a second. So if you flip it down before that, the object that stalls the animatronics gets desynced. Now you can wind the music box without fear of any old animatronics ruining your night. Next, we also have an exploit to skip cutscenes. If you ever played Ultimate Custom Night, you would know Mr. Hippo is actually the most dangerous, sticking you in an unskippable multi-minute long cutscene.
It seems that you have met a horrible demise, my friend.
You can't even close the game to get rid of it. However, the game engine itself gives us a single saving grace. Pressing Ctrl S will end any sounds playing, including Mr. Hippo's monologue, releasing you from your eternal torment.
Reminds me of a time
This isn't just for Mr. Hippo though. This can work in many areas, from FNaF World to Pizzeria Simulator, and thankfully basically every single cutscene in sister location. Ctrl S is an engine shortcut in clicked infusion that toggles sound. Toggling this will stop any sounds currently playing. Because many cutscene triggers are based off when voice lines stop, you can just instantly end them. But be sure to turn it back on before getting to a section that requires sound, like Ballora's Gallery. Many sounds start playing right when entering the area, just at 0 volume, so if you forget to re-enable sound before entering Ballora's Gallery, Ballora's music box will not play and you'll be forced to beat her section in silence. And since this would normally be impossible, you might need the next exploit. In Ballora's Gallery you only do one thing: run when Ballora isn't near and stop when she is. However, you can just not let Ballora get near you at all, simple. If you quickly spam W, you will keep running at the same speed, but Ballora won't get closer. Ballora gets closer to you whenever W is held down, but if you just tap W, you'll continue moving for a quarter second without Ballora getting closer. Doing this repeatedly means you can move all the way to the end and sprint past them even without sound. This exploit also isn't exclusive to Ballora either. Funtime Foxy can also be trivialized by simply spamming one button.
Hey, it's Taken, here to explain something in FNaF 4, because that's something I do now, I guess. If you watched my video on the AI, you would know that closing the door while Bonnie or Chica are in the far hall will bring them to your door, but you can't get rid of them. But there's a quite simple workaround. Just open and close the door again and you're good. That's it. Double closing the door is generally most useful for the hardest difficulty because Bonnie and Chica are always moving, guaranteeing that they'll be somewhere in the hallway. But one thing to note is that if they move back to the far hall, which can happen at 10-second intervals, right when you're closing it the second time, you'll have to reclose it again. That's just an oversight with the game as a whole, but one to keep in mind.
Moving on, the last exploit is not actually an exploit, but another shortcut from the game engine, similar to the Ctrl S exploit. This feature allows you to pause your game. Ever had to take a toilet break during a FNaF game? Well, no problem. Simply press Ctrl P on your keyboard and the game will come to an absolute stop whenever you want. I should also add that this feature can be very useful in Sister Location and Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. You know how the game locks your mouse and you can't do anything until you close the game? Well, simply pause the game and you will regain control over your mouse. One last thing I should add is that pausing the game will not stop sounds from playing, meaning that you will keep hearing the game ambience and other sounds that were playing before the game was paused. In fact, we can exploit this feature in FNaF 4. Hearing the breathing is the whole goal of the game, but you only have time to listen for a few seconds. Well, if you pause the game while someone is actually behind the door, the breathing sounds will still be audible while the game is paused, giving you some extra time to make sure that you're actually safe. Though keep in mind that if your timing is even slightly off, you might just get a sight you don't want to see.
Well, that's all the exploits we have for this video. Let us know if you enjoyed this video and if you'd want to see more videos like this in the future. Since this is our first video and we're trying to grow our channel, please subscribe, as it would help us out a lot. Also, a huge thanks to It's Taken for collaborating with us. Please check his channel out, which is linked below in the description. He makes similar FNAF content and you'll probably enjoy it.